Hello everyone, welcome to GoldenNova's First Reacts, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you come to react to things first. Burst Protocol has some more reveals for us, but this time on the TCG side. We have our new TCG exclusive archetype here, the kinds of cards that I love dearly. Whether they're the pinnacle of power like Burning Abyss were, to some of the more niche options like RB, they always tend to have some kind of unique twist to them that make them unique and fun to keep an eye on, even if they don't impact the top tables very much. Now we have what looks like GMX, short for Genomix, and the art is already looking very incredible. I'm looking forward to seeing these ones, and hopefully we have another really good one on our hands. I've waited a bit too long on this, so these are all spoilery, but I have heard the opinions that these aren't super good, but I'll be the judge of that. And also Moby is here to co-author this episode, because we can't have a good reveal without a good cat to pet while we are analyzing. Helps keep the brain waves level. Let's check out GMX Researcher Selande, a level 3 Fire Warrior monster with 1500 attack and 700 defense. If this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a non-warrior GMX monster or a level 3 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck. Okay, so that's good. I did notice from the big image here that we didn't have 2 GMX monsters. We had something that was off theme, and that always worries me. But at least now we know that our starter card can still get it out. And also any level 3 or lower dinosaur monster. That's a little spooky. If this card is special summoned by the effect of a by any monster effect, you can add a GMX spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. If a dinosaur fusion monster is on the field, you can shuffle this card from the field into the deck, and if you do, negate the effects of one face-up card on the field until the end of this turn. That's not a quick effect, so we're hitting things proactively, which is a good word, but not necessarily one that I would say has the highest utility here, but it is a way to negate something, and it gets it shuffled back into the deck so that we can get some usage out of it later. So, I'm not unhappy with this, especially if we have good ways in theme to summon this with our monsters so we can get those GMXs. Though you only get the special summon of the other monster if this card is normal summon, so it has multiple modes on it. It's just only when it's summoned in particular ways. It's an and or thing. That's a little more restrictive than I would like, but there are different things that it can do, and I do love options. So it's a tour guide on normal summon, it's a tutor for our spell and traps on special summon, and then we can put it back to negate something. Overall, seems pretty solid. Return to Dino Daneen, a level 1 water dino, 400 attack, 1200 defense. If this card is special summoned by a monster effect, which we know that Researcher Selande can do, you can add a GMX monster from your deck to your hand. Oh, okay. So by that logic, Selande is also a monster tutor as well. Hopefully that ties in with the rest of them. During your main phase, you can fusion summon a Dino Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can, if this card is sent to the graveyard, Moby, your big fat ass is getting in the way of me reading. Get out of you're getting in the way of the captions. Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can make all dinosaur monsters you currently control gain a 400 permanent boost. So you normal summon Selande, get Daneen, get another monster, and then you have potentially 3 materials to use for fusion summoning, and then whatever you summon out, because it's going to be a dinosaur, it's going to be a little bigger than its printed stat line. Okay, pretty solid. It lacks a on normal summon effect, so you only get the add whenever you bring it out with Selande, which means that we don't want to draw this, and that's unfortunate given today's climate, but that's fine. Moby. His tail's whipping caps all over the place. He's stimming. He's stimming down here. But this makes a great pair for Selande. It still accesses dinosaur fusion monsters no matter what, even if we normal summon it. So at least we have that going for us. Let's go ahead and check to see what the rest of the theme has in store for us. GMX Chairman Kimridge, level 4 light psychic monster. Ow, just missed the emergency teleport threshold. It's got 1,000 attack, 900 defense. You can reveal this card in your hand to add a GMX Applied Experiment number 55 from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And if you do, shuffle this card into the deck. Okay, so that's just reveal in the hand. That's good. If this card is special summoned by a monster effect, which technically you can bring this out with Selande, right? Selande just has a non-warrior GMX. And yeah, this is a non-warrior GMX, so we can get the special summoned out. You can target 2 cards in your graveyard that are GMXs and or dinosaur monsters. Place them on the top of your deck in any order. Then you can destroy 1 attack position monster that your opponent controls. Okay. So it's recycling and it's removal, but it's not a search unless it's in your hand. I'm sensing a theme here of the card's effects not really synergizing with each other, and that's kind of a problem. One would hope that when you play a card, you have access to all of its functionality whenever it's in rotation, but here it feels like they're only getting certain parts of their effects online under certain circumstances. And while that does mean that the deck has some more interesting lines of play, it does make them a lot less efficient, so... Wait, why are you 90? Did they put Daneen? They put Selande at 90 and Daneen at 93. Very funny. Very funny of them to do that. Okay, GMX Associate Noma, level 4 Dark Reptile monster. Dark Reptile. That's dangerously close to Dark Dinosaur. If this card is special summoned by a monster effect, which we can do with Selande, you can target 1 card each from your graveyard and your opponent's graveyard. Place each card on either the top or the bottom of the deck. If a monster is normal or special summoned to your opponent's field while this card is in the monster zone, you can fusion summon a GMX fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling monsters from your field, grave, and or banishment into the deck. So a reactive fusion summon that lets you recycle materials for the fusion summon. Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. It's also if a monster is normal or special summoned to your opponent's field. Maybe we play a couple of kaijus to to force some summons, huh? But there's like... So we're stacking cards. This is the second card that is stacked cards on top. Now, another thing that I have been spoiled on is that, like, excavating is involved. It's good that we have methods of doing that so that we can set that up, but I've yet to see what the payoff for doing that is. It's wild because setting cards on top of your deck is usually very bad unless they're cards that you specifically need immediately off of these draws, because you're fate sealing yourself away from cards underneath them that might help you out in these situations. So we need some really good payoffs for these and a really consistent way to utilize them. Otherwise, we're just not only cutting ourselves off from fresh cards in our deck, we're also being more predictable because our opponent will likely know what's on top of our deck as well. So hopefully this pays off well with these fusions. Oh my goodness. Look at these. Look at these creatures. GMX Alos is a level 8 dinosaur fusion monster with 3,000 attack and 900 defense, requiring any GMX monster and a dinosaur monster as material. Each time your opponent normal or special summons any number of monsters, gain 200 life points. Okay. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can target a GMX monster or a monster in your graveyard or banishment. Special summon it. This card cannot attack the turn this effect is activated. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy that monster. Okay, so the fact that it can't attack does kind of suck, but that's actually pretty lenient as far as restrictions go. If we just use Alos for something else, like a different fusion summon or some kind of link summon, then it's still going towards our end board. So, and of course, if you're going first, then not being able to attack doesn't matter at all. So I think this is pretty cool, and it has an optional construct effect where it can just destroy anything that it battles, Though, if you would win anyway, you can just push the damage through. You can just continue to push the damage through without the auto-destruction. So that's not bad. It's not crazy, but it's not bad. GMX Velix level 8 Dark Dino Fusion at 2700 attack, 1300 defense also requires a GMX and a dinosaur. Each time your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you gain 200 life points. Why the random life gain in here? That's... I mean, like, getting random life points is good. You know, it keeps you in the game longer, but normally there's a purpose for why you're getting the life points. During your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can target one card your opponent controls. Excavate the top cards of your deck until you excavate a GMX or a dinosaur monster. Lose 400 life points for each excavated card. Add that GMX monster or dinosaur monster to your hand or special summon it, and shuffle the rest into the deck. Also, after that, destroy the targeted card. You can only use the effect once per turn. Okay. Well, finally, we have our life point gain reason. We have a life point loss function here as well. I guess it's like to ensure that you're playing a more pure deck, or that you're utilizing the deck stacking so you don't lose as many life points. But then I feel like you don't need the life point thing. The life point thing kind of insulates you against a problem that the deck already seems to have solved. I guess this lets you activate them without having to do excavating, and you run the risk of it. But, it's just weird. It's weird card design, I think, but it's not unwelcome card design. It's also just quick removal. It destroys it. I mean, you'll eventually find a GMX or a dinosaur card. One must assume. So then you get to destroy the card, and you get to add a card, and you lose a variable amount of life points. I think this is just pretty solid. Granted, the issue here is that you can only do this during your opponent's turn. The destruction is interruption, which is good. The summoning you might not want to do during your opponent's turn, depending on the card that you flip into. Though, it is summoning, like if you hit a GMX monster, it will be summoned by the effect of a monster, so you can get, what's Velix's base form again? Noma? You can get Noma's, Noma had the destruction, right? No, it was Kimridge. So when attacking with launch controls, yeah, so it's Kimridge that can do an auto kill. Noma can set up another fusion summon. That's pretty funny. I don't know. I like these. I like these two. They're not, like, it doesn't feel like they're immediately sticking a flag in the format and says, you now have to deal with me. But these do provide some pretty interesting effects that I am enjoying. Although, because they gain life points, I think I know why they added the life point thing. It's dinosaur fusion monsters, so they had to find a way to be all like, how do we make this not synergize as well with Dinomorphia? We have to find a way to make it so we don't just make another dinosaur pile, and this is what they did. They gave them random life point gain. Sure, why not? Okay, lastly, GMX Applied Experiment. Applied Experiment number 55. This is the thing that Kimridge searches out. Normal spell card, activate the top cards of your deck until you activate a GMX monster and a dinosaur monster. Lose 400 for each activated card. Then you can fusion summon a GMX fusion monster from your extra deck using any excavated monsters as material. Also, oh, wait a sec. Okay, so Velix looks for a GMX monster or a dinosaur monster. Applied Experiment needs you to excavate a GMX and a dinosaur monster. Oh, that's so cool. That's a really interesting way to handle a branded fusion style effect, because you're still using materials from your deck, but you have to set things up correctly. Now, at minimum, it's 800. 800 life points that you're losing for this. And that stacks up quickly. Like what? If you reveal 5 cards, that's 2,000 life points. So you gotta make sure that you're all set up here. So I guess in that regards, it's actually a terrible branded fusion. Ah man, now I don't like it. Because like if you could tip off like 12 or 13 cards and then just randomly have this pool of fusion material to work with. Although, considering it's GMX and Dinosaur and you build the deck around that, that's probably not going to be a lot of decisions in there, especially because you have to make a GMX with this, not any dinosaur fusion. or really any fusion anyway. Man. Okay. I still think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting take on it. It's just not a very good one. But it is very... it's not good insofar as you couldn't play this widespread. As an archetypal card, I think it's a pretty cool flavor include. Yeah, I'm here for it. I think this is cool. So GMX... no, I just think these will make for cool, nifty dinosaur support cards. Hopefully we get to see... Oh, you know what I'm doubly happy about? It's dinosaur support that is more ways to add non-dinosaurs into the theme, which means it's time for more, double evolution pill shenanigans. Granted, we already had a hand traps for that, but now it's just part of the game plan. Sick nasty. These are cool. These are cool. I like them. I think these are pretty neat. Curious to see what other GMX Speller Trap cards we're going to get. Fingers crossed that they're very effectual. Can't wait to see what the second wave of support's going to do. I think these are pretty nifty as is. We also have a couple of other TCG exclusive cards that were revealed. No art for them, though, which is, not my favorite, but we still have the info for them. Mechanical Mechanic is a level 3 wind machine tuner monster, 500 attack and defense. When an attack is declared involving your other machine monster, you can increase or decrease the level of that other monster by 1. You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. If a card is in the field zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can target face-up spell or trap card your opponent controls. Target one face-up spell or trap card your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, add a wind machine monster with 0 attack from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except machine monsters. Okay, so this is FA support, right? Like, this is just FA support. Hold on. Hold the phone. Wait a second. Gotta check YGO, PRODECK.com here, because I think all those FAs have 0 attack because their attacks are defined by their level. They gain attack power. Not Dark Dragster, it's literally Dark. Yeah. All the FAs are 0. Wait, hold on. The level modulation is not a once per turn, so whenever they attack, they just get to randomly boost the level of the FA a little bit more, which makes them a little more powerful when you place level. And it's all about field spells, so it's easy to summon this. Hold on a second. Oh, and it destroys a spell or trap card you control. So you destroy the field spell once it's summoned, you get the machine monster, and then you get to get any of the other field spells that you want. That's kind of what... okay. Okay, didn't expect to see Formula athletes getting a little something, but I'm glad to see it happening. You can even pivot, like if you play the UA FA build, you can pivot away from the stadiums that the UAs use to the Grand Prix circuit, or to the circuits. I think it's just the circuits. That's so funny. That's so funny. Okay, that's based. That's based, and I love it. Rain of Frogs, a normal trap card. If you control an Aqua-type monster with 2,000 or more attack, send all monsters on the field to the graveyard except Aqua monsters. If this set card is destroyed by a card effect, you can set this card. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. Okay, so we have a Frog trap card. So this is... Like this is literally useful for frogs if you have Totally Awesome. You just get to blast all non-aquas off the board, and then Totally Awesome is there to interact with any interaction that they would use against Rain of Frogs. Is that what this... Is there a different aqua-based deck that could use this? That's like... We wouldn't see this in Mermails, would we? The big ones are like Sea Serpents. They're not aquas, right? I'm not losing my... No, the big ones... Okay, they're a mix. Some of them are Sea Serpents, some of them are aquas. Okay. This is just a frog card, though. I don't know if I can justify any other situation than this being here. But, hey, you know... Good for the frogs. Good for them, those froggy bastards. And then the last thing was a card that I haven't actually talked about yet. Another in the long line of Dominus cards. Now we have Dominus Spark coming out in Blazing Dominion. Normal trap card. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. During the turn your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, you can activate this card from your hand. Target one monster your opponent controls and banish it. Then if you have no traps in your graveyard, they can special summon one monster from their hand. Which goes along with the other Dominuses, where it's like if you have a trap card, you get an extra bonus effect. If you activated this card from your hand, you cannot activate the effects of Earth, Wind, Fire, and Wind monsters for the rest of the duel. That is most silly. That is most silly. So that is 4 attributes as opposed to the other ones, which are 3, I believe. But this one leaves out Light and Dark. The most popular and powerful attributes in this game. I cannot tell you how many decks just got a huge buff because they now have a delete monster button in their hand. It's only once per turn, but there's no once per duel. So as long as you don't have any of these... Now, granted, this does shut off other hand traps. Though not all of them. There's no Ash Blossom under this. There's no Ghost Spell under this. But you still have Effect Veiler, which is still pretty nifty. You have other hand traps like Infinite Impermanence, which has always paired well with the Dominus cards because it gets you a trap card into your graveyard. Wow, that's goofy. That seems goofy. Am I not? I feel like this is goofy. I mean, it can't be a must play in everything, but it feels like it should be played in a variety of things. Okay, well, that was fun. What do you all think of this nonsense? I think GMXs are pretty cool. I think this is in line with several, random themes that introduced in main sets that aren't going to move the needle, but still have some interesting usages. So I'm glad to see another one of themes like this, especially one that uses Excavate in such a fun way. I'm happy to see Mechanical Mechanic. I can't wait to see the card art for this one. I'm sure it's floating around somewhere. I hope all the FA heads out there are happy. And I'm scared about Dominus Spark. Let me know what your thoughts are on these cards down below. And until the next time Konami drops some juicy spoilers, I'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye! Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout while helping out the channel. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media, and the Critic of Innocence, Nebula Navigators, 3rd Dynasty, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Beastsman, Charlie Mercury, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Copperbottom, Eric, Frankie, Green Knight, Great Big Pillock, Groog, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Carp, Marion James C. Picata, Meme King, Muse Clark, Neon Yami Nair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Pat Boos, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, Redtail, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sonic 21 Blast, That One Dumbass and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders, Anthrak, A Random Pup, Blaze Rider, Blitzwolf, Brandon Guzman, Chaz Ghost, Christopher Fuss, again, Cool Trainer Dark, Dr. Entity, R.I.P., Eki Bullock, Edelweiss E.N., Eva Padilla, Herbal D, Inblink, J.A. Flair, Julian Marquez, Kale the Dragon, Kryptonian Blurred, Lobomaru 02, Manga Pages, Millennia Asta, Mr. Machina, Natiel Lee Alexander, Nicholas Murphy, Not Al Gore, Obsidian, Rhyme Kairos, Rogue Wolf, Seraph SG, Shizuki Nijimura, Stephen Huntsman, The Legendary Raven, The Queen of Time, Tiger X2476, Tristan O'Meara, Zaldreka, Zephrath the Rock Thing, and Zentha, as well as all the lovely Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.